Hello guys, welcome to Inside Hubs. I'm C. Sojan here. Here comes again next shock. And Trump now is saying that in order to get an H1B1 visa from American side, you must spend 1 lakh US dollar per year. Literally, that means spending 1 lakh US dollar means around 90 lakh or 87 lakh Indian rupees. And let's look the reality here. Many Indians have a deep interest in going to America to work, and especially those who are working in IT sector for whom this is an attractive opportunity. And early this morning itself, this became a very hot topic and widely discussed across global media. And within this, India is the country that is going to be affected the most. In in other words, so in short term, this decision will affect India, but in the long term, America itself will be affected. And what we must first understand is the ongoing tariff war between India and America and the current diplomacy. This is what we must evaluate. To evaluate, we must keep in mind that India has 100 million farmers here. That's 10 crore farmers in India. And this concerns the livelihood of India's 100 million farmers. In other words, Trump is attempting to destroy the foundation of their work. And on one side, it's about the farmers, and on other side, it's about IT professionals. And for those who hold H1B visas, Trump has imposed this massive fees of 1 lakh US dollar, and this can be considered a kind of tax in itself. And this policy was not announced as targeting only Indians, but it has been implemented as part of America's push for localization and ensuring that American citizens get job within the US market. And that's the basis on which this executive order has been put into effect now. Job opportunities, whether in private or government sector, are a person's right. So those who go abroad in search of work are simply job seekers, and there's no question of disrespect towards them. But India cannot compromise with America's stand here. America has a massive agriculture sector with the mass production at very cheap cost. If those products are brought into India and we accept all the condition America demands, this would ruin our market. And today's situation proof of that. In short, India has already started studying and understanding America's real nature now. So, how far will America go? Because India is a country that still has to progress a lot. If today we hesitate and compromise just to bring back those 3,79,000 people to India, then we will be sacrificing the livelihood of 100 million farmers here. And these 100 million farmers are not people from one state, and they are mostly poor people from North India, especially from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, and other central regions. And the central government knows this very clearly and has already made decision accordingly against this. And if a visa revocation happens, such a huge number of people will return to India. That is well understood. And so America's present policy is essentially to expel as many foreign workers as possible. And that's the policy they are pursuing now. And now regarding IT companies, we can see what Trump has implemented, because there are two main issues. One is offshore work. For example, companies like Amazon, TCS, Wipro, Infosys, and many other outsource contract abroad. And if they give offshore contracts, then 25% of contract amount must be deposited with the US government. And depending on the quantity of work, this kind of policy is being promoted, and such restriction on IT works are likely to increase further. Last month, you might have noticed that even with America 50% tariff, India showed significant growth in export, and this did not go down with US. And the reason is simple: despite imposing a 50% tariff, India still made gains, and that jealousy and envy is what really pushed this issue forward. Earlier, during Joe Biden's administration, about a month before he stepped down, sanctions were imposed on Iran. But at that time, when sanctions were announced, Indian Prime Minister Modi had made a visit to USA. A special waiver was granted for the Chabhar port, and exclusion meaning the port would not fall under the sanctions. That favor, however, has now been revoked by the Trump. Does this mean India will end all ties with the Chaubar port? Answer is no, because we have already invested 340 billion US dollar there and nearly 300 million dollar in Afghanistan as well. So it was India that built many schools in Afghanistan, constructed dams, and even built their parliament building. All this expenditure were borne by us. So for India, Afghanistan, and general Central Asia, Chaubar Port is a vital access route. Through the Sistan Baluchistan region of Iran, we are able to use this crucial corridor. Beyond that, we are planning train routes and roadways inside Iran. And same like we are building links through Iran, Azerbaijan into Russia, and also through uh, Turkmenistan into Europe. And most importantly, for the transportation to Afghanistan, this corridor is very essential, and it bypasses Pakistan here, and so we don't depend on them. We ignored Pakistan completely and went ahead with this strategy. Therefore, India will continue to use Chaubar port. Let me bring in here the words of former Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj. She made a statement about Chaubar port, especially regarding Iran's stance. Her words make it very clear this is not just Iran's position, it's also India's firm position. And they said that if sanctions are imposed by the US on Iran, they will not follow them. That is also India's stance here. Some people without historical understanding say that if Iran port is banned, India won't be able to access it. But that's not true here. India will continue to access the Chaubar port. And just yesterday, at the UN, a resolution was pushed forward to impose sanctions against Iran again. South Korea proposed this because Iran is a country cooperating with North Korea and South Korea acts on US direction. But at UN, two veto powers, Russia and China, rejected it. So sanctions from UN side cannot be applied on Iran. This sanction will continue, and because China and Russia will keep vetoing such moves here. Therefore, since there's no UN sanction, India will keep using Chaubar port, and India has a valid reason for that as well. Transportation access through that side. If sanction were imposed, India would not just sit idle. India has strong diplomatic tool, will use them, and External Affairs Minister Jaishankar has already stated that discussion will be here regarding the port and decision will be made accordingly. The government is still studying this matter, but one thing is clear here: India will not back out from Chaubar port. And guys, sanction will be instead be used as a diplomatic tool. The US may try to impose restriction on vessels docking at Chaubar port by blocking them from entering US port or limiting their trade with America. But even Europe is no longer following everything the US says. So it's unlikely that the other countries will cut trade ties with India over these issues. That's going to happen because that would cause them serious losses. They know this very well. That's why America is facing embarrassment in this matter by removing the sanctions waiver for Chaubar port. The US may create new developments, but India will continue with this strategy. And these were some clear detail I wanted to share with you in this video, guys. Please share your thoughts down in the comment box below. I believe you all like the video. If you do, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching.